back. Now, a day after the Supreme Court criticized the government for not revealing the list of people who have black money stashed away in foreign banks and called it theft of national wealth, the Prime Minister has told his cabinet that the government's stand on this must be made clear. Now, raising the issue in the first meeting of the rejigged cabinet, the Prime Minister asked the Finance Minister Pranab Mukherjee to hold a press meet to make the government's position clear. Now, yesterday, reacting to the Supreme Court's order, the Prime Minister had said that there is no instant solution to bringing back the black money. Well, moving ahead, the Kerala High Court has come down heavily on all agencies involved in making arrangements for the pilgrimage to Sabrimala. Now, in its review of the events surrounding last Friday's stampede near Sabrimala, in which 102 people had died. Now, responding to reports and comments coming in from the police, the Temple Board and the Forest Department, the High Court pointed out to crucial lack of coordination between these agencies. Now, the court told the government that if you can't take precautions, why don't you just stop the pilgrimage through Pudamedu, which is of course the narrow forest area where the stampede took place. The CWG scam fails to lie low. The fiasco of the Commonwealth Games doesn't seem to be ending. Now, at a time when the CBI has questioned those, including Suresh Kalmadi, of improper financial dealings, comes news that several Australian companies may have to take legal action for non-payment of their dues. Now, many Australian companies that were contracted to provide services for the opening and the closing ceremonies say that they still have not been paid. Now, the ongoing investigations into the Commonwealth Games scam means that their calls and requests for payments are going unanswered. Now, the Commonwealth Games reportedly cost a staggering 30,000 crore rupees. And while the External Affairs Minister S.M. Krishna faced some embarrassment today when his Australian counterpart Kevin Rudd raised this same issue of non-payment of dues to Australian companies for Commonwealth Games related work during a bilateral meeting there in Melbourne. Now, the minister assured that the Australian government that he would be taking up the matter on his return back to India.
To some agencies in Australia who helped us to successfully hold the Commonwealth Games. It has been brought to my notice that there are outstandings from India's side. As soon as I go back to India, I will take it up with the Ministry of Sports, and I will certainly be the interlocutor on behalf of Australia so that the dues can be settled.
Discuss these matters and we in Australia are comfortable about the Indian government's response about the processes they have in hand. These are complicated by a number of domestic matters in India itself. But these matters are now well in hand with the Indian government.
Well, moving ahead, it was being seen as a big victory for the former Swiss banker and whistleblower Rudolf Elmer as he evaded jail in the breach of a bank secrecy laws case in Zurich. But his elation was short-lived. Elmer, who was let off by Zurich court on Wednesday with a fine, but he was arrested just a few hours later in connection with the more recent case for providing WikiLeaks with accounts details of individuals and firms allegedly to have claimed to have evaded taxes. Now, sources claim that he has been kept in isolation since last night. Now, the Madras High Court today ordered a fresh post-mortem of Dalit boy Vinod, who was allegedly killed for eloping with a girl of another caste, a possible case of honour killing. Now, the High Court also ordered that the body of the boy be brought from Tirunelveli in an ambulance with police protection. Now, Vinod, a Dalit boy from Chennai, ran away with his neighbour Lakshmi, but he was later found killed in Tirunelveli under mysterious circumstances. And while starting today, you can change your mobile network provider without losing your number. Mobile number portability becomes a reality for consumers. Now, the nationwide implementation will increase the churn of customers, shoot up the customer acquisition and retention, and lower the average revenue per user, as competitive tariff plans will have to be offered. Well, here's a look at how MNP really works. You can start with sending an SMS to 1900, type port, P-O-R-T, and space your mobile number. Then you'll be receiving an 8-digit unique porting code. It will be sent to you. This number, along with your mobile number, is maintained with an MNP service provider. Now go to the new service provider with a unique porting code, address proof and application before the stipulated time of expiry. Now, the new operator will request a permission from existing operator, and after approval, a time and a date will be sent to you when the provider is changed between 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. So it's not likely to hit your work hours. Now this will be a no service period. Well, time now to take a quick look at how the precious metals are faring today. Well, and moving on, here's one act to remember. A lesson in human resource management takes to the skies. More on that when we come back.